welcome to our weekly look at Tiffin University basketball, Dragon Basketball Weekly. Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my left, head coach of the men's team, Mr. Tom Church. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
In a little late last night, right?
Yes. We got in at 4:30 a.m. It was about a 7.5-hour drive, so we're getting ready to start our week, though.
I appreciate you taking time for us in the morning here as we get our Dragon Basketball Weekly recorded. And your team goes out on the road, the GLVC Challenge. You played a couple games out there on the road. Let's go ahead and kind of recap the couple games you guys played, and then we'll talk about what you got coming up this week.
Yeah, so our first game was Saturday night against Maryville. We did not end up playing until about 8:30 Central Time, so 9:30 our game. So late game, but certainly it was a game that we should have had. We were up 15 with about 10 minutes to go, and just really couldn't put them away. And they chipped away, and we got a shot at the buzzer to win. Went off the back iron, but played well. But did some things uncharacteristically of us. You know, we didn't shoot it particularly well at the beginning, and I think it could have been first game jitters or whatever. We turned the ball over a few more times than we normally would. So, you know, it was frustrating because it was a game that honestly we should have had.
Well, you went into that game talking about last week about how there's a lot of unknowns with that team. It sounds like your guys figured out those unknowns pretty well and had a nice, majority of the ball game.
Yeah, and you look at the stats. Statistically, we got 14 more shots up than they did. We turned them over 20 times. But uncharacteristic to us, we only had 5 assists to 13 turnovers, and that's not a good ratio. Yeah, that's not a good ratio, particularly for us. And we really got some open looks. But again, I think there was some first game jitters there.
Right.
Defensively, we had a couple breakdowns, which we're certainly going to work on. But I mean, we had the game there for the taking. Like I said, up 15 with 10 minutes to go. That's a game that you got to win. They hit a few timely shots and we didn't. And, I think we pressed a little bit at the end. But we tell our guys, every game is probably going to be like that for us, so moving forward.
Is that part of the – I guess it's good to get that learning curve out of the way early, trying to put those games away, have these learning lessons in game one in an out-of-conference game instead of game one in an in-conference game.
And we've talked about
– if you have to.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, closing out games, and we dealt with it a little bit at the end of last year, and we've been telling our guys we have to be there first to learn from it. So closing out halves and closing out games is something that we're going to have to learn how to do, and whether we set that up in practice. But closing out halves and closing out games is something that if we can figure out how to do, we're going to go on a run.
Well, your kids didn't have time to dwell on it, at least. You had to put that one behind you right away and get ready for a team that you were going against UMSL, who you knew a lot about. They've had a lot of consistency with their coaching staff over like a couple decades, you said. But pretty good football, pretty good basketball team you ran into on Saturday.
Absolutely. UMSL, they won the conference 2 years ago during the COVID year when the NCAA tournament got canceled. So they were not able to play in the NCAA tournament. Last year, their point guard got hurt. He only played in 5 games. They are loaded. They are just outside the top 25. They will be ranked here shortly. And we had every excuse just to go into that game and not play well for whatever reason. We played late on Saturday night. We had to turn around. They got a little bit more rest than we did. They're at home. We're on the road, all that stuff. And our guys came out. It was a physical game. And it was really good to see our guys' fight. And I talked about closing out halves. We were up 11 in the first half with about 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Had a couple untimely turnovers. They hit a couple shots. They got a little bit of momentum. So instead of going in at half up 6 or 7, we go in up 44-41. So we're up 3. There's a big difference there. So there was a little bit of a momentum shift there. They ended up taking about a 9 or 10 point lead in the game. We cut it to 3 with just under 3 minutes to go with the ball. And those are the situations that, again, we find ourselves in. But they are a very, very good team. But I was extremely happy to see our guys' fight. We believe that we should be talked about with those teams in the region, the UMSLs, who are very good and have proven it.
Now, it sounds like maybe it's 2 different styles of basketball games on Saturday and Sunday. Would you say that, or would you say you guys experienced, same type of play?
Yeah, a little bit of the same. Maryville and UMSL, they're a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, and you obviously know how we play. And we were able to shoot the ball much better. We looked more like ourselves on Sunday. We were able to hit some early shots. I think we hit maybe 8 or 9 threes in the first half. So we really got going in the first half, shooting the ball from the perimeter. Our assist to turnover ratio was extremely good in the second game. We had 15 assists, but again, a couple untimely turnovers. Right. I think the biggest thing with us in the game was defensive rebounding. We struggled on the boards a little bit. It was a really physical game. We had an injury from the night before. Braxton was limited in minutes. He had a little bit of a knee injury that he couldn't go as much. But take all those out, and we still had an opportunity to win. Like I said, we got it to a one-possession game at their place with under 3 minutes to go, and that's all you want to do on the road is put yourself in position to try to win a game. And
Braxton's the kind of guy who plays many different roles for you, and you can see it in your eyes as soon as I said, he's probably one of the last guys that you like to be able to take off of your roster on a game day.
Yeah. Like I said, we threw him out there at the beginning, and I just didn't feel with him sitting after he came out. He had it was a little bit of a knee contusion, but with all that said, we finished the weekend. We have 5 guys averaging double figures right now. Nobody more than I think 12 or 13 points a game, but we have 5 guys over 10, and that just goes to show the balance that we have, that it can be anybody's night, any given night. I was glad to see Trent really got going in the second game. He had 17 in the first half. That's great for us because he's been limited in practice. He's only practiced about probably 6 or 7 practices because he was out for about 2 weeks. He missed the exhibition games. He was able to play in our first scrimmage. So getting him back and getting him acclimated was a big thing. But we're starting to kind of see our rotation and starting to get better there. So, again, 2 games that we can certainly learn from. We would have loved to have gotten one or both, but the big thing is we have 2 more games before conference season starts, and that's going to be huge for us.
Well, a little home cooking now.
Absolutely. We're going to be home for a few games. We have Kentucky State on Saturday, which we'll certainly be ready for, and then Carlo on Tuesday. And then we have a little bit of a break to where we can really clean up what we need to clean up going into conference play against Cedarville.
Yeah, Kentucky State this Saturday. It'll be your home opener as well, right here where we're sitting here at the Gilmore Student Center. And how excited are your kids to get back here and play after going on the road for the weekend?
Oh, I mean, taking the exhibition trip, we got the scrimmage at home, and then it was such a long trip out to St. Louis and back. So believe me, we are going to be excited to be back in our home gym. We'd love for everybody to come out. I know it's going to be a pack the house night. They're doing some things, which it's going to be a great Saturday afternoon of basketball, and I can guarantee our kids are going to play hard, and they're going to be excited and be ready to get our first win at home.
Well, you take a look at your film from your first couple of games. You get yourself prepared here for Kentucky State, and then you said Carlo on Tuesday before you slowly start hitting the meat of your schedule. And these next couple of games are going to be huge for you just because you said you're figuring out your rotations.
Yeah.
Good to get back home and see the ball go through the net out of your hands in the home gym as well. So these next 2 games are going to be very important as you said, you get that little break to take a look at these 4 games. Find the things you're doing well, find the rotations, and then put all those pieces together.
Oh, absolutely. We know a lot of things that we got to work on from this past weekend. Again, moving forward with these next 2 games, we'll get Luke Johnson back probably for the Cedarville game, so he won't be with us for the next 2 games, which is fine. But again, this just gives us a chance. We'll have a full week of practice before Kentucky State. Again, got back late last night. We took today off. We'll be able to get a few practices in and clean up some of the things that we know that we need to moving forward.
Your kid's pretty just happy to be in what would be back to a somewhat normal basketball schedule in season.
It definitely, it was nice to see that they had a nice crowd last night for our game. We don't have to wear masks on the sidelines. We're able to actually have all of our guys sitting next to each other. You didn't really kind of see that as much last year. You didn't understand how important that was to get back to some normalcy. So that was really good. And just to be able to get some non-conference games in before you go into your conference schedule. And again, these games are going to make us so much better. Just playing those tight games where, again, when we learn how to finish at the end of halves and at the end of games, I believe we're going to put a string of games together here. We're going to play extremely well and get some dubs.
How about some of the young guys? Maybe get some early experience, going on the road. Some kids get their eyes open a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's one of those things where you know, a lot of our rotation are guys that have come back, some of the new transfers that we added, but we took our young guys on the trip and they're able to really learn from the sidelines and see what Division II basketball is all about. Like I said, last night's game in particular was an extremely physical game. So, you know, they're able to see like, hey, this is where I got to get to if I want to get some minutes out there.
Oh, it's a physical brand of basketball.
Absolutely.
That is for certain. It's a man's game. It is a
really
man's
is.
game. And, you know, sitting up here in my job with the broadcasting, across the board of Division II athletics, I think it would blow some people's minds when they really see the quality of athletes that we have across the board in all of our sports. And I see it with your guys. I'm watching guys warm up. They make dunking the basketball look like they've been doing it since they were 5 years old. I mean, just the quality of athletes at the Division II level is, I mean, Division I's here, it's it's so close.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing a lot of that this year with the scores, and you have some Division IIs that have beat some Division I's.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a game where, like I said, we had a shot, you know, to maybe go up with less than 20 seconds left on a Division I team, and I think that just is a sign too where everybody's getting that extra year.
Yep.
They're taking advantage of it. I mean, we've got to have one of the older teams that we've ever had here at Tiffin. You know, you look at our forwards, everybody's 22, 23, 25 years old. And that just goes to our experience. So again, you know, we've got a rotation where we've got some guys that have come back. We've got some new guys, and the more minutes that they get together, you know, we're going to be able to see the results in the win column for sure.
So hard to find minutes for some of those young guys with having
really-
these guys with the extra years.
It really is. It really is. And our young guys are doing a good job. They understand what their role is right now, and they understand where we're at as a program, you know, which is a good thing. I mean, I think we've put ourselves in position not only for the present to be able to compete night in and night out and win games and hopefully get in the conference tournament and move forward, but we've also put ourselves in position for the future as well. I mean, we have guys on our team. You look at Trent Williams, he's got 3 years left. We look at Wesley Jordan, he has 3 years left. Morgan Taylor, it's unbelievable. Morgan Taylor, who is one of our new transfers, he has 3 years left, who played tremendous this weekend. Ian Lopez, who has started games for us, who has 3 years left. So not only the present, but for the future, we've put ourselves in good position here.
It's an exciting brand of basketball that's played here at the Gilmore Student Center with Coach Tom Church's kids here, the men's team. It's a 3 o'clock start on
3 o'clock start time on
3 o'clock
Saturday.
start time
Yep.
on Saturday. Our coverage will start here about 2:15. You can watch all the games live at the Great Midwest Digital Network. There's links at the basketball page on the schedule. There's always links at the GoTiffenDragons.com page at the bottom of the page. And you can also go to GreatMidwestSports.com. And all the radio will be at WTUD, TUDragonRadio.com. So, Coach, looking forward to this Saturday. Tell the folks that they're going to see when they come out and see your kids on Saturday afternoon.
Well, like you said, you're going to see an exciting brand of basketball, and you're going to see team basketball. We play extremely fast, and, you know, again, we've been sharing the ball extremely well. I just absolutely love this team. I mean, each game is exciting to go into because you know how these kids are going to play, and you know they're going to play unselfish. And, you know, talking about Kentucky State a little bit, I mean, they've had 2 exhibition games against Louisville, Morehead State. They play Wilberforce here coming up on Wednesday, which I think is their first game. So we'll be prepared, but again, exciting style, fast pace, up and down. You know, we're going to get this place rolling here, and I'm excited for Saturday, and I know our kids are as well.
Well, it's Saturday afternoon. You might as well come on out and take in the game. You'll be home in time for dinner. Really,
Absolutely.
There's no excuse for our fans not to be here. this Saturday
Absolutely.
afternoon.
Get out here. Let's pack the house.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for making time with us. I know you got a busy day. You got home really late last night. You got a short week to prepare. I've given the kids a day off, but you get home at 4:30 in the morning. You probably should give them the day off.
It's
They
a
got
good
some
day
school
for
to
it.
take care of as
Absolutely.
well. So, but thank you for your time and continued success. It's a lot of fun watching your kids compete, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's Coach Tom Church, and this is Dragon Basketball Weekly. We'll talk to Tiffin University women's coach MIRIAM Justinger coming up next. Welcome back to Dragon Basketball Weekly. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Tiffin University Dragons. Now to my left, head women's basketball coach MIRIAM Justinger. Coach, welcome back to town.
Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it.
Well, you went out on the road for your opening weekend. First, I got to tell you, athletic director Lonnie Allen was on my halftime of the football game on Saturday Live, and he had some very nice things to say about you and the job you've been doing here at Tiffin University, so I wanted to echo that over for you.
Wow. Well, thanks, Lonnie Allen. I have to talk to him about that later.
You should. I
Give him a
probably
tip.
wasn't supposed to tell you. So you took the kids out on the road for the weekend, the little crossover challenge of the GLVC. Big win on your first game of the season. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we had opening weekend this weekend. We saw on Friday, we played McKendree at McKendree. you know, it was kind of our first go. We had one scrimmage prior to that. Had a lot of jitters there that first half. Second half came out with a little more calmness and more like our Tiffin basketball team that we've seen. So yeah, it's here, ready or not, and I think the girls took them a half to get ready there that first game. So.
Well, if you're going to have the jitters, have it on the road, non-con. Get it out of the way. Let's go figure these things out. That's why you do these crossover type events. Go figure these things out before you come home and get all that stuff. Make that stuff like background noise. Put that out the back door.
Exactly, and that's you know, it's a great trip. Great teams out there, great competition, and it does just that. It gets us ready for conference games when it really counts. Not that these don't count, but you know, we do see who works well with who, where we do need to work on areas of improvement, and we got all that this week. We're going to hit the film hard today and learn some things there, and it's the learning process. You know, we've got freshmen getting some minutes for us, and across the board, seniors need to continue to learn. I, as a coach, continue to learn, and that's what those games are for. So.
Is the rotation one of the things that's the biggest thing that you get out of these early season games before you get to your conference play? Just like you said, the rotation of how kids are working together and then who you can sub in and out of these situations. That's one of the biggest things you look for in these early non-conference games?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of it is you know, the game of basketball, you play 5 people on the floor at a time. You know, any team you want, obviously, a deep bench, and we're working on finding our roles and who plays what role. And last year, you know, we all committed to our role and being a role player and whatever that looks like. And early in the season, we've got to figure that out. Are you the best rebounder on the team? Are you the sixth man coming off the bench that's a spark plug? Or, you know, kind of figuring out who meshes with who is
right.
all part of it.
Everybody has a different skill set, and you got to put them all together. Like when I played in high school, I realized going into my senior year, I wasn't going to be a scorer on a team. And a way for me to stay on the floor was to play really good defense and to rebound the basketball. And sometimes it takes a kid to take a look in the mirror sometimes and be like, okay, best way for me to help this team get W's is to do exactly, maybe it's just a small thing that I can do well. I have to do that on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And it takes selflessness to do that and realize, hey, you know, I'm not the best scorer. I'm not, you know, playing this role, but I know I'm going to be really good in this role. And our girls, our selflessness, we saw that on the road, that we'll get there, and it's a matter of just figuring it out.
Let me fix that. I was an amazing basketball player. I scored all the time. I did everything well.
Yeah, double every game, right?
Let me fix that. Yes, absolutely. So you played 2 games out there. You got the W on the first one. Let's talk a little bit about the second game.
Second game, do we have to talk about that?
Briefly.
You know, second game, again, we had some good competition out there this weekend, and it's good for our girls to see that go against real talent. Early in the ball game, we just didn't have the energy that I'd like us to have. Came out flat. I don't know if it was a little bit of a hangover from the game before or what the deal was there. But we just never got in the flow. Couldn't get ourselves going. Got in some early foul trouble, which didn't help us out. It's kind of a sad story from there on out. Well,
you're back here now, and where we're sitting in this gym while we're recording this. You'll be playing here on Thursday night. So you'll be the first of the basketball teams to get their home opener going Thursday night against a former conference foe. Saginaw Valley State will be in town for a fun one on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Saginaw Valley's coming here Thursday, 5:30, home opener there. So we're excited about that. They played Hillsdale and Findlay this past weekend. Got 2 dubs there for Saginaw. So again, a really good team coming in here Thursday that, you know, we've got to step up and be ready for some really good talent. They're playing again Tuesday against ODU, so another conference team.
Running through the GMAC.
Right. So hopefully ODU can give us some of their notes if they get the win there, which who knows. But yeah, again, just a lot of talented teams in this area that we're looking forward to.
That's 5:30 tip off on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And you can catch all that live action right here at you get the links to the live video at the women's basketball schedule at the athletics page. You can get it right at the bottom of the GoTiffinDragons.com page, and also links available at the GreatMidwestSports.com page. And we'll have it on radio for you at WTUD, TUDragonRadio.com. Not only Thursday, But then your kids are going another trip on the weekend. You went west last weekend. This time you're heading east.
Yes, we're just covering the border there.
Yeah.
Yep. On Friday's travel day, we're playing Saturday and Sunday out at Seton Hill in a little tournament there. Saturday we'll take on PSAC School Seton Hill, and then Sunday we'll turn around right again another PSAC matchup there with Lock Haven. So should be interesting again with that kind of Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. It's preparing for you. Hopefully you make it to the tournament and you got those back-to-back games that you see at the end of the season. So it's good prep there.
I've been to Seton Hill once for a women's basketball game. I traveled with the team. It had to be about 4 or 5 years ago, and however long ago. But I've been to Seton Hill once for a game. It's a pretty interesting gym, if I remember correctly. Kind of an older, historic type building.
It is. That's actually where I did my grad assistantship at.
Oh, excellent.
So yeah, it'll be fun to go back there. And the head coach was the head coach there at the time when I was there. So yeah, it's a cool school there. It's kind of up on a hill. Reminds me a little bit of Hogwarts. If Harry Potter fans out there, but
nice.
Yeah.
So you said everybody a little nervous on the first half of the opening game. Some of the young kids kind of get their eyes open with the competition at the D2 level. Is that part of it?
I think so. I mean, we talked about that the other week. As a freshman, one of your adjustments is, everybody's a ball player. Everybody's a little faster, a little stronger, a little more athletic. And some of that is the adjustment of them recognizing, hey, this is college ball now. I need to step up to the plate. And they're all very capable of doing that. It's just a matter of seeing the competition now. And, upperclassmen, I had to remind them, hey, it's go time. We're not in summer mode anymore. We're not preseason. Like, this stuff, we're counting buckets here, and at the end of the day, we don't have more points than the other team. It's a lost column, and it took us a weekend to figure that out. So
I mentioned to Coach Church of the men's program when we were talking this week about, are your kids just happy to be back into what would be the normalcy of a normal basketball season, being able to sit beside each other on the bench, being able to have fans in the crowd, not having to wear your mask on the bench? Are the kids just excited about having what would be as close to as what they have had before of a normal basketball season, full schedule?
Yeah, I think so, and I think Thursday we'll really be able to feel that, being back at home. McKendree's a long trip. It's a 7-hour drive out there, and thank you to the fans, parents that were able to make that trip. It's awesome. But still wasn't that home feeling crowd where, we don't have the limited capacity anymore. We don't have the bench, all masked up and separated. So I think Thursday we'll really be able to feel that normalcy and get excited about that.
You probably have seen it with the volleyball matches in here this fall, going from an empty gym to a packed house. Boy, and you were a student athlete. You know how much different it is. Playing, it doesn't matter. You throw the ball up and we start playing, you're still playing ball. But when there's people in the crowd and when they're not. And when there's people in the crowd that are helping build off the energy that you're building out there, it can turn into something special.
Yeah, absolutely. that first volleyball home game, I was like, COVID's finally over. This place was packed, and I'm hoping for Thursday that will be the gym again, and it really does make a difference, and I hope that our girls feed off that. The energy is there, and they're able to have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, and part of it too, is getting back into the normalcy also gets you back into the normalcy of a student, part of the student athlete part of it. That had to be very difficult for your kids as well, dealing with all of that kind of stuff, remote learning, in class, all over the place, and then trying to be an athlete on top. It had to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, our girls, they like structure. They like things, given to them ahead of time. They're all planners. And last year there was no type of planning.
Right.
It was kind of day by day, and classes are half online, half the other week you're in class, and schedules were all over the place. And I think the structure that we're seeing this year, I'm able to give them their calendar out the first of the month, and they like that because they're planners and they like to know, okay, I'm gonna have practice at this time and I can plan around this, or this is a travel day. And so yeah, they're definitely glad to be back in the classroom and have that more of the structure there.
Most athletes are creatures of habit, right?
Yes.
You probably were when you were a student athlete as well.
To a point. To a point. I was a little unorganized at times, but that's stories for another day.
Well, we're all different than what we were when we were in our early 20s or even late teens, as some of these kids are.
That's very true, yes.
Well, Coach, have fun this weekend. We'll have a lot of fun here on Thursday night with your kids, but then have fun this weekend when you're going out to Seton Hill, and bring back some wins, and we'll get together next week and we'll talk about those and get ready for, I believe, the following week. You just got the one game on Saturday. Is that right here, or is there one in the week prior to that? I can't. That's Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week. Yes,
we played
we're
the
just on Saturday.
Just on the Saturday. So then the kids can take a little deep breath, and you can take a look back at everything that you've done so far, figure out nail down those rotations, figure out exactly what you guys need to work for and work on as you get ready for the conference season.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what we're planning on doing this week. Again, we've got some tough competition with these next 3 games, just taking it one day at a time. And today's a day for film and learning, and tomorrow will be what tomorrow is. So one day at a time and getting better every day.
Wasn't long ago she was a student athlete and the coaches say one day at a time. She was probably shaking her head. Now she's a coach and she's saying one day at a time, right?
Yeah, when I was a player, I was like, yeah, we're one day closer to summer. But
Well, Coach, give your kids the best, and I'm sure a bunch of those parents will be heading out to Pennsylvania as well. That's the beauty of the small school sports, is seeing the parents making those trips. And when you're at this type of setting, the parents, they really feel like they're a part of it as well, and a big part of it, they really are a part of it as well.
Oh, absolutely. We have a mom making goodie bags for our road trips, and always wanting to be involved and help out, staying at the same hotels as us, and kind of a little bit of a halfway point for my grandparents, so they'll be able to make that trip as well. Mom and Dad are going out, so selfishly, as coach is a little happy for the trip as well.
That's great. Well, have yourself a good time and have fun with the family as well.
Awesome.
So. And don't forget to tell the other folks not to forget about the cookies for the guy who sits up here.
Yeah. I'll get on that crew about that too.
All right, I appreciate it. She's Coach Miriam Justinger. You can catch her kids here on Thursday afternoon, 5:30 tip-off, as we said, at the Great Midwest Digital Network and on the radio at WTUD. Coach, we'll talk again next week. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. You too, Russ.
All right, that's Coach Miriam Justinger, the Tiffin University Women's Basketball Program. This has been Dragon Basketball Weekly.